Hello everyone. So in this quick video, I will give you a quick overview as how we can set up Shopizer on your local dev environment. I will start from downloading it from the GitHub, and then we will walk through the steps how we can do a local setup. First, we will do the HSQL DB, and then probably we will move to the MySQL. We'll see how you can do a setup on your ID. Maybe we will be using IntelliJ, or you can do it in the Eclipse. So the first step we will do is we will just quickly move to the GitHub and we'll download 2.0.5. So I will start with 2.0.5 because this is the most stable release we have for the Shopizer. So I will be doing it through the command prompt, but you are free to do it with any of the GUI tool. You can use tree source, or even you can use the GitHub own client to clone the Shopizer 2.0.5. So what I'm going to do is I will just quickly clone it. Okay, so I'm going to use git clone command here, and it should do something for me, right? So as you can see, it's cloning the Shopizer 2.0.5 on my local machine. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. So as you can see, the download is complete. Let's see what we have got so far. So we have a Shopizer folder, right? Let's see what all extensions or the folders we have in our Shopizer folder. So we have couple of modules. We have a SM core, we have a SM core models, we have a SM shop, search, core modules. So these are basically the different modules which will be used in the Shopizer. So if you see, one of the interesting thing here is this pom.xml file, which is inside the in the Shopizer folder. So this is basically the parent pom file, which combines all of your dependencies, all of the modules which will be used into the Shopizer. So you don't have to go individually within each of your modules. We will be on the root of the Shopizer folder, and we will build it from here. So you don't have to go inside, let's say SM core, build it, and then move to the SM core or SM shop, build it. So we will just build it from the root. Okay. So I'm hoping that you already have a Maven installed in your machine. If you quickly want to check whether the Maven is installed on your machine or not, just run mbn words. Okay. So as you can see, I have a 3.3.9 installed on my machine. And if you don't have a Maven installed on your machine, I think it's the right time. Just go to the Maven site, Apache Maven, install it. Just follow the instructions. If you are using your Windows machine, just follow the Windows installation instructions. And if you are using a Linux or a Mac, follow those instructions. Check it out. If you have a Maven installed, you should see a similar output here. Another thing, as you can see, I'm using Java 1.8, and the Shopizer 2.5 is compatible with the 1.8. So make sure that you are using JDK 1.8, and if you are not using it, you have to basically either upgrade it to 1.8, or you have to install 1.8. So I will be assuming that you already have followed all these steps. So let's move ahead and see how we can basically start our installation. So now we have downloaded it on our local machine, right? So the next step is to build it. So I will be using a standard Maven command, that is ambient coin install. Okay, so what it will do, it's going to do is it will clean your all the extension. If they have any kind of a target folder or a class files, it will clean it. It will recompile it using JDK, and then will basically it's ready for you to use. So you can see it's basically scanned the folder. Let's wait. Let's wait for this process to finish. It can take some time based upon your machine power, but hopefully it should not take you more than maybe a couple of minutes. I'm expecting something maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So as we can see, it took around maybe 1 minute and 30 seconds for the build to complete. And as I was telling you, we are using a parent form to build everything. So you can see it basically started from the parent, then it went to the core models, then the module search, then there were some other dependencies, and then the core and the shop. So while when we have created this build process, we are making sure that the dependencies, the way we have configured it, we are building it the way the dependencies are managed. So since shop is dependent on all the other modules, it's dependent on the core module, it's dependent upon the search. We will be using Elasticsearch for this one. You have a core modules which is nothing but we are using a different integrations modules, so it's dependent upon that one. SM core model is basically your ORM or the your database layer. Your JPA layer is handled through the SM core. So you can see we have very predefined dependencies here. So let's see. So I think we are good with this one. The other interesting feature is SM as of now 2.5 is dependent upon Spring Boot, so that means you really don't have to deploy it on any of the on the server web servers. You can use the embedded container to run your application. By default, Sufficer comes pre-built with the Tomcat 1.8, so you don't have to deploy it separately. And we have some sample data ready for you to start working on it. So we already created some sample data. We already are using our default HSQL DB for you. So all those things are pre-configured for you. Of course, you won't be using that DB in your production. You want to move to the MySQL or Oracle or any of your preferred DB. We will go through those steps how you can configure any other database. But let's see what are the other steps which we might have to take in order to run this application. So let's quickly see how you can run this application. So we already have everything installed. So what I'm going to do is I will be moving inside SM shop because that's the web interface for us, right? So I'm already inside the SM shop module. So we have a couple of ways to run it. You can deploy that the WAR file in standalone Tomcat server or maybe Jetty or your preferred web server. But I will be using uh, the embedded Tomcat server, which is being provided by the Spring Boot as part of the Spring Boot. So let's see how you can do it. So we will be using Spring Boot and so we are using the inbuilt Spring Boot plugin. So that means I will be using this command mbn spring boot run. So it will just scan for all the projects and will enable the inbuilt or the embedded Tomcat container. So our server is up and running. So let's quickly check what happened while we run this command. So I'm just scrolling up, just bear with me. We really don't have to look into those logs, right? Okay, let's scroll up, let's scroll up a little bit more. I just want to give you some kind of information like what are the benefit why we moved to the Spring Boot. So you see, uh, normally what happens, right, when you want to run your application, either you will be using your preferred IDE to integrate it with the Tomcat, and then you will be deploying it, testing it and everything else, and then eventually you will be creating a war and will deploy it on the standalone maybe a Tomcat or Jetty or whatever your preferred one. But Spring Boot comes with a different kind of a concept, or they use a different convention. So we are using a embedded Tomcat container. You really don't. That will suffice most of your needs until you want to deploy a multiple apps on your server. Of course, in that case, you might want to consider deploying it on a different Tomcat server. So it took some time. It scanned. The process is pretty standard how normal web applications start. It scans for the certain files and all those things. So let's quickly see what happens at the last. So you see the server started on the 8080 port. That was the default port, and we have this error or exception. This is a known with the 1.0.5. uh, but sorry 2.5, but that won't impact anything from your side, so just ignore this as of now. This will be fixed in the upcoming release for the Shopizer. So let's see how the things are working for us on the web. So let's see what's happening here, right? I'm just opening the shop. All right, so our server is up and running. Let's see how we can basically access our web shop as well as the backend system. So I have the URL ready, but since it was running on 8080, all you have to do is localhost 8080/shop, and you can see I have the uh, web shop ready with me. So this is the sample data which we have provided as part of the Shopizer setup. Let's check if I can open the PDP. Yeah, I can do that, and I have all the information. This is just a sample information or very basic information which we have provided as part of the data, the setup data, but you can play around with it. You can add your own data, or maybe you can create a different products, whatever the way you want to basically check it out. And you have the access to your backend system. So this is the logout URL. That's the URL for your backend system. Username is admin. Password is password. I'm just clicking on the login, and you will be able to see the backend system, right? So there are different options. I will be covering these options in some another video, but as of now, let's see how you can create a product. So you click on the product, click on create new product, right? Just provide an SKU. I'm just using my just a demo SKU. So demo is available, date available is today, right? And product name is demo product. Say demo, the demo product created for Shopizer video, right? Product title is demo product, okay? And I'm just using demo. I will say I'm going to sell this product on $10. I have a total 100 quantity available with me. You have to at least buy a single quantity of it, and quantity order max is that you can maximum order 9 quantity in a single order. Submit it, right? And we have this product ready with us. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will be just copying it, the product part of it. Will use it and see how I can do that. Okay, just ignore this one. Sorry about that. Okay, so you can see the demo product is ready, and you can use it, right? Uh, as part of the next step, I will give you a quick overview as how you can do a local setup within your ID. I will be using IntelliJ to do a setup, but you can use Eclipse or maybe NetBeans to do the same setup. So let's go ahead and we'll start our setup process. Okay. Let's move to the next step. We will be setting up our dev environment for Shopizer. I will be using IntelliJ for this setup, but you can use Eclipse or you can use NetBeans. All the editors have inbuilt capabilities to identify whether it's a Maven project, and they will be able to basically configure all the dependencies for you. So let's start. What I'm going to do is I will be importing this project. So I will, this is where we clone our Shopizer on the first video. So I will just go to the root Shopizer folder. Don't go inside any of these folders because we have this parent POM, this one, in our Shopizer root. So that will give you IntelliJ or Eclipse an idea. Okay, there are different modules which needs to be they need to import as part of this setup process, right? So I will be selecting Shopizer, will open it, and as you can see, right, IntelliJ automatically identify, okay, this is a Maven project, and it will give you a kind of a wizard to select few of the things you can do, a different basically a configuration based upon your setup. I will not go into those details. Move to the next step. So it's just checking all the available profiles, and you can see, right, it created a snapshot. This is basically based upon the POM which is a part of our Shopizer setup. So let's go to the next setup. I will be using a 1.8. Just 9 is for just I'm doing some experiment with Java 9. Let's go ahead, select it, and we should be all set. So as you can see, it will do some kind of maybe some extra step to import all the dependencies. We'll make sure that all the dependent jars, the dependencies which we have declared as part of the Shopizer setup, those will be downloaded by Maven, and we should be ready with the setup. So you can see there is some IntelliJ is doing some sort of a setup for us, and when once everything is done, you can see there is an import going on. It's basically importing the Maven projects. This is just a background process. Maven basically IntelliJ will perform for us. Let's all right, so you can see we have all the modules as part of our setup. We can quickly open pom.xml. It might take some time because IntelliJ is still doing indexing. So we are using 1.3.5 as part Spring Boot as part of the Shopizer 2.5. Hopefully in the future we will be moving to 1.5, and these are the different dependencies you can see as part of the Shopizer setup. And you see we have defined a different modules here, which gives basically the Maven hint that how we want these modules to be built upon, how the dependencies are being managed. So this is how you will be setting it up. Even if you want to run your Maven quickly, you will be running the same Spring Boot and then run command, right? It's again the same command which we executed as part of the first step. Let's see, it will take some time. All right, okay, all right, so I will be going to SM shop to run my application. Sorry for the earlier. I will ambient Spring Boot and then we'll say run, and it will again perform the same operation what we have seen so far. All right, so as you can see, our server is up and running. Let's check quickly if we are able to open the web page or not. All right, I will be closing these one just to check it out. Okay, let's see, we will be using again localhost 8080/shop. We'll see what's going on, right? Let's check out. If you see, there are a couple of things happening in the background, and if everything works fine, if our setup is good, it should be able to open the, yes, here we go. All right, I hope this will give you an at least a starting point how you can do a setup, how you can do basically you can perform the initial setup, In our next video, I will be covering, let's say, if you want to customize your setup, you might want to use MySQL or let's say Oracle in your setup rather than the in-memory database which we are using as part of the initial setup. I will be giving you a walkthrough. We will be getting into more details how you can do those setups, what steps you need to perform in order to change your database settings, what all where all changes you have to perform. I hope you like this video. If you still have any question, please let us know. Or you even if you're facing some issues, I think the best way is to go to the GitHub on the Shopizer project, open a support ticket, just go to the issue tab, right? Just open your ticket, make sure that you are providing as much as details possible, or like if you are deploying it on a standalone server or you are using a editor, or what are the custom steps you are performing, because that will give us more information to replicate your issue. I hope you will be able to run the setup. Let us know in case you're still facing some issue. All right, thanks everyone, thanks for watching this video.